We're losing our listening. We spend roughly 60% of our communication time listening, but we're not very good at it. We retain just 25% of what we hear. Now, not you, not this talk, but that's generally true. Let's define listening as making meaning from sound. It's a mental process, and it's a process of extraction. We use some pretty cool techniques to do this. One of them is pattern recognition. So, in a cocktail party like this, if I say, David, Sarah, pay attention, some of you just sat up. We recognize patterns to distinguish noise from signal, and especially your name. Differencing is another technique we use. If we left the ping noise on for more than a couple of minutes, ping noise, you would literally cease to hear it. We listen to the differences. We discount sounds that remain the same. And then there are a whole range of filters. These filters take us from all sound down to what we pay attention to. Most people are entirely unconscious of these filters, but they actually create our reality in a way because they tell us what we're paying attention to right now. I will give you one example of that. Intention is very important in sound. In listening, when I married my wife, I promised her I would listen to her every day as if for the first time. Now that's I foreshadow on a daily basis, but that's a great intention to have in a relationship. But that's not all. Sounds places are in space and in time. If you close your eyes right now in this room, you are aware of the size of the room from the reverberation and the bouncing of the sound of the surface. You are aware of how many people are around you because of the micro noises you are receiving. And sound places are in time as well because sound always has time embedded in it. In fact, I would suggest that our listening is the main way that we experience the flow of time from past to future. So, sonority is time and meaning. A great quote. I said at the beginning, we're losing our listening. Why did I say that? Well, there are a lot of reasons for this. First of all, we invented ways of recording, first writing, then audio recording, and now video recording as well. The premium on accurate and careful listening has simply disappeared. Secondly, the world is now so noisy. With this cacophony focus going on visually and auditorily, it's just hard to listen. It's tiring to listen. Make people take refuge in headphones, but they turn big. Public spaces like this share soundscapes into millions of tiny, little personal sound bubbles. In this scenario, nobody's listened to anybody. We're becoming impatient. We don't want oratory anymore. We want sound bites. And the art of conversation is being replaced dangerously, I think, by personal broadcasting. I don't know how much listening there is in this conversation, which is sadly very common, especially in the UK. We're becoming desensitized. Our media have to scream at us with these kinds of headlines in order to get our attention. And that means it's harder for us to pay attention to the quiet, the subtle, and the understated. There is a serious problem. We are losing our listening. This is not trivial because listening is our access to understanding. Conscious listening always creates understanding, and only without conscious listening can this thing happen. A world where we don't listen to each other at all is a very scary place indeed. So I'd like to share with you 5 simple exercises, tools you can take away with you to improve your own conscious listening. Would you like that? Yes? Good. The first one is silence. Just 3 minutes a day of silence is a wonderful exercise to reset your ears and to recalibrate so that you can hear the quiet again. If you can't get absolute silence, go for quiet. That's absolutely fine. Second, I call this the mixer. So even if you are in a noisy environment like this, and we all spend a lot of time in places like this, listen in the coffee bar to how many channels of sound can I hear? How many individual channels in that mix am I listening to? You can do it in the beautiful places as well, like in the lake. How many birds am I hearing? Where are they? Where are those birds? It's a great exercise for improving the quality of your listening. Third, this exercise I call savoring, and that is a beautiful exercise. It's about enjoying mundane sounds. This, for example, is my tumble dryer. It's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I love it. Or just try this one for size. Wow! So mundane sounds can be really interesting if you pay attention. I call that the hidden choir. It's all around us all the time. The next exercise is probably the most important one of all of this. If you just take one thing away, this is the listening positions. The idea that you can move your listening position to what's appropriate to what you're listening to. This is the playing with those filters. Remember I gave you the filters? It's starting to play with them as levels, to get conscious about them and to move to different places. These are just some of the listening positions or scale of listening positions that you can use. There are many. Have fun with that. It's very exciting. And finally, an acronym. You can use this in listening in communication if you're in one of those roles. And I think it's probably that if everybody's who listening to this talk, the acronym is RASA, which is Red's good word for juice and essence, and RASA stands for receive, which means pay attention to the person, appreciate, making little noise like oh, okay. Summarize, the word so is very important in the communication, and ask questions afterwards. Now Sal is my person, is my wife. I wrote a whole book about it, so I live to listen. That's too much to ask for most people, but I believe that every human being needs to listen consciously in order to live fully, connected in space and in time to the physical world around us, connected in understanding each other, not to mention spiritually connected, because every spiritual path I know of has listening and contemplation at its heart.